Are you the type of person who really just appreciates those who goes right into it and doesn't give up even when things get hard? Well, today is a man after my own heart. I really enjoyed interviewing Eric, and he owns a pressure washing business here locally in the Ocala and Marion County area. He's a really great guy, has a unique story, and he definitely is the type that is an overcomer and doesn't give up too easy. So I'm excited for you guys to hear his journey into his successful business. Let's go check it out. All right, so tell us a little bit about how you got started in owning your pressure washing business and exactly what do you do?
Well, I got started back in 2015.
Okay.
My wife and I, we own a trucking company, and I was looking for something to do after I retired. And we used to clean the trailers out, pressure wash them out when they bring them back because it was a food grade trailer. And so it was just something that I liked to do. I liked it, the outcome, of it. And so that was something that we liked to do. And I just told my wife, I think I want to start a pressure washing business I um I retire out of trucking.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Trucking is definitely a lot. You did what, food hauling?
I did everything.
Okay.
I had the refrigerated trailer, yes, but to answer your question, yes.
Okay, what else? What you can go ahead and say what kind of trucking you did.
We did wood because I had a flatbed. I had a trailer for basically every season, especially here in Florida. Because here in Florida it goes up and down. Like produce season, you would have your refrigerated trucks. Those are the trailers that we used to wash out because we used to haul chicken in and haul produce out. And so we had to wash them out after we had the ice packed chicken. And so we had to pressure wash them out. And so that's how I was kind of like had the ground level introduction to pressure cleaning.
Did you pressure wash them yourself, or did you have another company do it for you?
I did it myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was just curious, because I was thinking maybe like you saw what they did and said, hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so you've been doing this for quite a while since 2015.
Right, exactly.
Now, did you start full time in 2015?
Yes, I did. I started. I'm the type of guy. I jump head first into stuff, and then I learn later.
Okay.
I don't advise that with anybody else. But I don't know. I guess I'm wired and built different. That's the way I do things. I remember back in the days when a friend of mine, I didn't even know how to swim. He just threw me in the water, and so I learned how to swim at that time.
Yeah.
So,
so you had a lot of experience of just diving in and figuring it out.
Yeah, exactly.
What were some struggles that you faced, like right off the bat, if you don't mind sharing them?
I faced a lot of struggles. I faced the first struggle I faced was getting business, getting my name out there. I was new to the industry. I didn't know anything. A lot of stuff I had to Google. A lot of stuff um, I had to research because for some reason locals seem to look at you more as competition, and they don't want to help you. And so that was some of the struggles, learning, failing, learning from my failures, and stuff like that. But I think that made me not only a better person, but a better business individual as well.
No, I think it's true. I think even as myself, like I've changed what I'm doing, my goals, my sets, and it's just kind of like I say, we're like all in like this little raft, and we're just kind of going along, and however it goes, and we really don't have much control over that at all.
Exactly.
It's just kind of going along with it. Now, were you here in Marion County when you first started, or were you still back in Homestead?
No, I was in Sumter County.
Okay.
In Wildwood, Florida.
Okay.
That's where my wife is from, and so we was living there at the time. And like I said, once I retired out of trucking, I just jumped head first and into the pressure cleaning business, and everything just evolved from there.
I'm sure it had to be pretty difficult down there because the villages is pretty dog eat dog.
Yes.
It's definitely not it's not an easy market to get into.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of really against each other.
Yeah.
So that kind of explains, tells me why you were dealing with what you were dealing with. Because even in real estate, it's kind of like that. I think most jobs that are not necessarily the hardest things to start up or get into, like, like you can get into it relatively on a easier pace and compared to something that requires a college degree. There's just a lot more competition, and so it like takes a lot to stand out. What are some ways that you found that you were able to stand out compared to those competitors?
Well, what I do, my mom always told me, she instilled in me, whatever you do, you be the best at it. And so that's what I did. I researched. I found out what I could do to do the job more effective, more quickly, and charge a reasonable amount for that service. And what I learned, I was like, okay, it used to take me 3 hours to do this house. But if I have this certain piece of equipment, I can do it in 30 minutes, which takes away the time. I can move on to the next job because what I'm looking at is at the end of the day. Um, you might have some guys, they spend so much time on this one house versus you doing this house. I could do 6 houses, within the time that you finish doing that one house. So it's all about having the right equipment, having the knowledge, and just moving very efficiently. Time is money. I know you probably heard that before, but it's true in my industry. Time is money. And you don't just want to rush through something, but you do want to move at a pace where you're going to do the right job and you're going to do the right job quickly.
That definitely makes sense. It's a lot of those. I think the key to being successful into anything that you do is really finding the most efficient way to do it. Because you can waste a lot of time doing a lot of things that don't really matter.
Right. Exactly.
And then you're 10 steps behind the other person that's trying to get ahead of you. Because it's unfortunately we kind of live in a world where everybody's competing against each other to some degree. It just is what it is, whether you like it or not. So what did you find that was the most helpful for you in gaining those skills?
I would say finding the right equipment, finding the right person to talk to.
Okay.
I literally had to fly all the way out to Houston, Texas, to really sit down with somebody who took me up under their belt and schooled me on a lot of stuff. And he became my mentor. He still is my mentor. I talk with him at least once every other week. I used to talk to him all the time, every day. But life goes on. People get busy, and you don't want to really crowd people. And he gave me the knowledge to where I can figure most stuff out on my own. But if I come to a rut, he's just a phone call away.
Well, that's really good. Now, does he do what you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So he does the same thing.
Right.
He owns a pressure washing business.
Correct.
Too. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, is it just you, or do you have a team of people?
Well, I have a network of people.
Okay.
But it's just me as far as paperwork.
Okay.
But I do have a network of people where if I get larger jobs where I can't handle, I will call guys who are like me, and I will call them in and say, hey, man, let's tackle this. What you're doing on this day, I'll need you. And so we all come in together. And most times, most jobs only require 2 hard workers. I don't care how large it is. Most jobs only require 2 hard workers. But, the way the industry has it, or the way the industry has set it to be, everything is hard so that they can charge more. But that's not the way it is in reality.
How long do you think it actually should take to pressure wash a house? I'm just curious.
It depends on how big the house is.
Okay.
And what are they getting done. The average 2,000 square foot home,
okay,
no more than 30 minutes.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty quick.
Yeah. But then again,
It depends.
It depends on what you have as far as equipment.
Okay.
You know, I mean, if it takes me longer than 30 minutes to do the average 2,000 square foot home, something has happened. Something is I bust a hose. I ran out of gas. Just something has happened.
Yeah.
You know, something out of the normal. If it takes me longer than 30 minutes. Yeah.
Which I'm sure that does happen sometimes.
That's
kind of how it goes. You know, equipment, especially in today's world, if you're dealing with gas, it's not so hot.
Yeah.
I know I was talking to my grandfather's really into like old cars, and I swear and old equipment. My grandfather has like bulldozers and like all kinds. I mean, this man has tons of stuff, and it's all super old. He's like 80, and it's as old as he is. So I mean, like old. And he's like, I don't want anything new because I can't fix it if it's new. And I was at my mom has 3 acres, and we were over there because some crazy stuff happened, and we were talking to the neighbor, and he said a friend of his had a bobcat. And because I guess they're putting like all this new equipment and these machines and stuff, he can't keep it going.
Wow.
Yes, it's crazy. I don't know pressure washing if like pressure washers and like the equipment themselves, if you've seen like a decline, but that kind of seems to be the MO.
Yeah.
And my grandfather says it's probably it's an electrical nightmare. That's what he calls it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Electrical nightmare.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's very funny. I know it's not funny if you're the person using it, but I kind of. But that's why he goes. That's why I only want it if it's old.
Yeah.
He's got to be old like me.
Yeah. It's built better.
Built better.
Yeah.
He probably would say he's probably built better than most people, but
yeah, most of these new cars, I know, like my wife, as we speak right now, is at Toyota.
Oh my gosh.
I know certain stuff you just can't take anywhere to get it done. You got to take it back to the dealership.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, Toyota lately has not been so hot. I have seen more. Because I drive a Corolla. I love my car. It's 2016. It works great. But like these new ones, I have seen more of them on the side of the road lately. And I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, Toyota, I need to get it together. I'm like, I need to get it together. So how's it been? Now, when did you move here officially to Marion County?
We closed on June the 10th of 2021.
Oh gosh, you dealt with that crazy market.
Actually, we got it right before it hit. We had a new bill, and we signed right before it just went crazy. I mean, our builder took a loss on our home.
I believe it.
Yeah. Some
of them had to, because if you signed it early enough,
right,
then you kind of, I mean, it was taking them like 6 months to a year to build it. So if you got in and you got, you know, it kind of worked out. Me too. I kind of did that too. So the house I have now is worth more money than what it was when we bought it. So I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you get that sweet spot. I meet some people that are like in the same position as me, and I'm like, hey, we got it. We got lucky.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord above. We got very lucky.
Yeah.
So how has it been being here in Marion County? Like, have you seen a difference between Wildwood and here, or has it just been kind of the same, or?
Kind of the same.
Okay.
You know, it's just getting out, meeting people, networking with people, you know, dealing with people, dealing with the attitudes, the crazy people. So, but it's all a work in progress. I don't know many people here. I'm learning people here. But you know, it's basically all the same.
It's all the same for the most part, yeah. I was just curious if it's been better or worse, or how, you know, I'm just curious on that. So how long have you been here in like more northern central Florida? Because I know you're originally from Homestead, right?
No, Palm Beach County.
Palm Beach County, okay.
Right. I've been here 2004.
Oh, okay, so you've been up here a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time, right?
Yeah.
That's 20 years. Over 20 now.
Over 20.
It's over 20 now. I don't mean to make you feel old, but
Oh,
But yeah, so you've really gotten to see a lot of changes up here then.
oh yeah, yeah. A lot of the villages, it wasn't the villages. A lot of that it was, but now to travel from where I live on 200 to Interstate 75. I almost said 95. For Interstate 75, it used to take me about 10 minutes. Now it takes me anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. And don't let it be an accident.
I know there's always an accident somewhere, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. I know it was a good friend of ours is she has just opened a pest control business, and she was thinking the villages, and she was coming from Tavares, and she was like, "Oh, it'll only take me like 20 minutes, and I'll be there." And then she was like, "Oh my gosh, it's in Middleburg. I have to I'm not Middleburg, I'm Middleton. I have to go all the way down there." It took her 45 minutes to get there, and then to get where my mom lives, it took her another 45 minutes. She goes, I just don't think of the villages as like this huge thing. And even Ocala too. I mean, we are the second largest county, but it's definitely just to get from one end to the other end is crazy.
Yeah.
I know. Actually, Duval is the largest county in the state of Florida, which is it's big too.
Yeah, it is. I got my nephew lives up there. He owns a bakery shop.
Okay, that's cool.
Happy Cake.
Happy Cake. I'll have to keep that in mind because I go up there semi-often. I went to college up there.
Okay.
So my nephew's actually up there now, so I'll have to tell him about it. Maybe he'll go see it. I have a lot of food allergies, but he might enjoy it, so I'll tell him about it. I mean, who doesn't like cake? So
yeah, I know, right?
Now, do you find a shortage of like do you find that you end up with like a lot of people that need your work and can't find somebody else to like replace somebody else to do their job per se? Because I know a lot of times people talk about how the industry, when it comes to like pressure washing or contracting or whatever, like something that's more like hard labor, I guess you would call it, there's like a shortage of those types of people.
Well, yeah, to answer your question, yes.
Okay.
There is a shortage on people who really want to really put into, because it's a lot. And especially, there's two types of industries in this one industry.
Okay.
There's the soft wash industry, which is very easy because all you're doing is applying solution and letting the solution do the work, and then you rinse it. That's the easy part of the exterior cleaning business. The other one is the pressure cleaning, when you actually has to use pressure. Too many people don't use pressure on buildings anymore. It's more of the soft wash. But where you do use pressure is on the sidewalk, anywhere where the foot rolls. Where the foot walks. That's where you use pressure. So if the foot can't step on it, then you don't use pressure, is a rule of thumb for me. And that's what I tell everybody. If your foot can go up on that wall, you can walk up on that wall just like you walk on the ground, then you use pressure on it. But the only way you use pressure these days, what I tell my guys, is to just, if it's your foot can walk on it, then you use pressure. But it's physical work when you have to do that surface cleaner, pull that hose, scratch it out, go as far as that hose can go, and then you come back far as that hose can go, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work. Now, why do you think most people aren't putting pressure on houses? Is it like a liability thing, or?
Yeah, liability, damage. You a lot of people have gotten into the industry not knowing what they're doing, and it has caused and they have caused great damage to homes. They bust seals on windows because too much pressure. Knock paint off. Just different stuff like that. I've seen guys surface clean roofs. I've seen guys pressure clean shingle roofs. And that's just something that you don't do, and they don't know, and that's the kicker. They don't know, and they get in and they just destroy stuff.
I believe it. you know, a lot of people, I think, during COVID decided that they wanted to start their own business, which was fine, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, I think they just jumped in and didn't take some time to do some research, whether that was what you do, real estate. There's a lot of realtors out there that just jumped in and said, I'm going to make a ton of money because the market's great. And in reality, there's a lot to know and a lot to learn. And if you don't take the time to learn it by yourself or find a good mentor like you did yourself, then I think you're doing yourself a disservice and the person that you're servicing. And then people like you and I have to come and clean up the mess.
Exactly.
And then we have to deal with those grumpy customers too, because now they don't trust you or I. And they're like questioning you. I'm sure you've had those people stand out there and watch you. The whole time, because there's, you know, but they have like almost PTSD or like they're scarred from that because they threw in their stuff.
Exactly.
It's not good. So I think I don't know, it's just kind of how it goes, unfortunately. Hopefully it'll get better. I don't know. We'll see how things kind of go. So I know you said that you were meeting people and doing all of that. Or what are some ways that you found that have been helpful for you to meet people or find customers? What do you?
I'm actually in a group, Referrals of Impact. It's a networking group. It's a BNI group. I'm in that. That helped me a lot. Advertising in the newspaper. And basically cold work. I see, you know, I can look at a building or look at a surface and say, oh, I can do some great service here. Can I, you know, give you a demo of what it will look like clean? You know, and some people don't realize that their surfaces, whether it may be the wall or whether it may be the sidewall, is actually dirty until you show them, because it's nothing in their industry that, you know, so they don't pay attention to it. And so they don't know.
How often should somebody like pressure wash their home?
The industry says every 6 months. That's what the industry says. But I've pressure washed homes once a year, and I've been called back a year later. You find a hint of green, but not that much. And it really depends on the foliage that surround your home. If you have a lot of trees that are blocking sunlight, then yes, I would figure possibly every 6 months or once every 8 months you can get away with it. But, you know, it just all depends on the setting of your home, the foliage around you. And it's a numerous of things, but the industry says every 6 months.
Okay, I was just curious how often. Now, I know you mentioned also sometimes people don't realize that things are dirty now. What can you like elaborate on that a bit? Like maybe like your sidewalk or something like that?
Right, like your sidewalk, it can be dirty and you never know it, because a lot of people don't look down. They just get out their car and they go in the house.
Do you think pressure washing is important for the longevity of it?
Yes. The longevity of it, and also the curb appeal.
Yeah, no, definitely curb appeal is huge. Believe me, in my business, if I don't have, that's one of the number one thing that I tell people. I'm like, this outside of this house, we got to make it look a lot better. Because it does. I think having that outside appearance really does impact. You know, when somebody walks in their mood. I think we've kind of been ingrained to be that way these days. You know, it's like I was talking about to my mom, because my mom's a realtor too, and we were discussing about older people maybe not understanding like the importance of like good photography. And the truth of the matter is if I have buyers and they're on the internet and they're looking at the pictures that I sent them and it doesn't look good, like the very first picture up the front of the house, like you're talking, that curb appeal looks horrible, they'll be like, why'd you send me this? And I'm like, let's just go see it, please. Like maybe you don't really know until you get there. But no, I think it's true. I mean, that curb appeal, it definitely matters. You don't want somebody to think you're.
That's just like I had a client the other day. Matter of fact, I got to go see him today because I actually missed a spot. It was the way that his roof is set. I didn't hit it, but he had to call his. They took pictures. They were selling his house.
Okay.
And they took pictures before I cleaned the roof, and he was like, "Oh man, the difference." He said, "Now I got to call him out
Oh
again
my
to
gosh.
take more pictures because it was just that much of a difference." But as he walked around, he seen and it was right over the driveway. He got this crazy driveway, but it's the, I don't know what you call it, but it's the part that goes over to the mother-in-law
Okay.
den,
Yes.
and but
It's like
it's
the hallway, right? Like they kind of have
right,
that like walkway.
yeah,
Okay, I
exactly.
got you.
And so it was a spot right over that I missed, and I was like, "Oh man, how did I miss that?" So.
I'm sure when you get at those big jobs, it's probably easy to miss something.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
house and a lot. And sometimes they like the shingle color and the paint they painted are almost like the same color.
Yeah,
They'll do
yeah,
like that charcoaly gray with the
yeah.
charcoaly gray.
That, all right.
Like that's kind of what I'm with that with
Yeah.
the roof being that color, and I'm like, it doesn't look bad, but I could see from like a pressure washing standpoint, it'd be easy to
Yeah.
miss it. So I kind of towards the end of my podcast, what I always ask is if somebody's looking to get into the pressure washing business, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to go and work for somebody.
Okay.
Get that experience. Because luckily and fortunate, I had the backing of my wife.
Mm.
She just said, "Babe, do what you got to do." And a lot of people don't have that support. She was the really the financial backbone for a period of time, because I made a lot of mistakes, and I got burnt a lot, and it hurted. And what I meant burnt a lot, people didn't pay me.
Yeah.
I did a job, but that's why it's so good to have a contract, and I didn't know that then. So every little thing that I do now, I got a contract for. My payment is to be received upon completion. And if it's not to your liking, please inform me so that I can make it to your liking. But those are things that I had to learn. But I would tell them to go work for somebody at least for 6 months, if not a year. Learn as much as you can, um, if you want to be successful, but just don't do like I did. Just don't just jump out there. And like I told you before, I said I'm wired different. And I learned how to swim once I get in the water. And but that's what I would advise anybody who wants to get into any industry. Work for somebody first, learn it, and then branch off, and then do what you do. Master your art.
No, I think that's a super great advice because I personally worked with my mom for about like a year and a half, almost 2 years on the dance team with her. And while it was very grueling, and my mom didn't give me a lot of, it was kind of like a sink or swim. Like I'm gonna give you all this, and you gotta meet my bar. That's kind of how my mom is.
Yeah.
She kind of threw me to the wolves. I learned a lot,
That's
and
great.
she didn't really give me an option but to learn. And she had very high standards, and I really had to step up and get it together for the most part because I went to school to be a dietitian. I never planned on being in real estate, so it wasn't like my dream vision of what I had planned. I think God had different plans for me. Definitely was not what I anticipated on doing at all. I mean, I went to school for 4 years for a degree that I don't really use now. And so but COVID kind of changed that for me, and where I just kind of had to figure it out. I had to make money, and my wife became a school teacher, and we both kind of were like, okay, I guess we're gonna make it work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But having that mentorship and having somebody to like really teach me those good basics to then take what she taught me and then implement it into my own thing it's super important, I think.
Right.
Especially with you, like you found the need to go find your mentor. I'm just curious, at what point did you end up reaching out to him?
Well, I met him through Facebook actually.
Okay.
And I had been following him, and he used to do little short videos and stuff like that, and I had been following, and a contract had came, and I tried to talk with, and this was when I was down in Sumter County.
Okay.
So this has nothing to do with Marion County. When I was down in Sumter County, it was like everybody looked at you with this evil look, like you're my competition, and this. Okay, we on the same football field, and I understand. You on that team, I'm on this team, but it was like nobody wanted to help,
Mm.
and my gut feeling told me to reach out to him, and he was like, yeah, he talked to me just like, and he's large, big guru in the
Wow.
industry, and I just wrote him, and he wrote me back, and it started from there.
No, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that goes to show the power of social media, and also, like, don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Just because somebody's bigger doesn't mean they won't do it. I've learned that on this podcast. Like, I've asked all kinds of different people, and I've always been very surprised sometimes the people that I have gotten to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I was doing it last year, I got some people that I didn't think would tell me yes, but
Right.
I messaged them on Facebook like you did, and I said, hey, I'm doing a podcast. Would you like to be on? And they're like, yeah, I'll be on. And I'm like, oh wow, okay, they're gonna say yes to it. It's kind of scary. I think I kind of relate to you in the fact that I'm kind of one of those people too that just kind of like jumps in and like, let's just figure it out and make a lot of mistakes along the way, but at the end I think it's more rewarding a little bit. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's a lot of headache too, but
I like I say, I'm wired different, built different. I think if I did it any other way, it just wouldn't be as rewarding.
Yes.
I just love figuring stuff out. I operate best. Can I share something with you? This, I preached for many years. Many years. When I got my best sermons, or a majority, I'm gonna say 80% of my sermons, you know where they actually came from?
Where?
When I was sitting on the toilet. I lie to you not. And I tell people that, and they do like you did. They laugh. But what God showed me in that, He said, I'm gonna always give you a message in your mess. And so I it's just like when I'm in a mess, that's when I operate better. When my back is against the wall, that's when I operate better. I hate for stuff to be so easy. I can't think right, know. But then when I'm challenged, even when I was in school, when I was coming up, I was a troubled kid. And the reason why I was a troubled kid is because there was no challenge there for me. You put me on a football field, I'm a freaking beast. Because the challenge was to get to tackle the guy with the ball. And so I'm always, I was playing middle linebacker, and I'm set, I'm looking, I'm always looking for the guy with that was a challenge for me. And it was a continual challenge. So, when I'm not challenged, I don't think right. But when I'm challenged, my back is against the wall, it just seems like everything just falls. I guess I'm built to operate in a mess. That's why I say I'm built different. I'm wired different.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that. I think if you're like a high strung type person where like you like the pressure and you like to work and that's what makes you happy, then I think, and I'm kind of like that too in a lot of ways. I don't do well when I don't have a lot going on or goals to reach or achieving. Like I get real bored and kind of
there you go.
And stagnant. And I kind of get grumpy, and my wife's like, you need to go do something because you're getting on my nerves. She's like, just leave me home by myself to clean, and you go do your open house. And I'm like, great, that's what I'm going to do. So I relate to that. I really do. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Eric, and I appreciate you coming on today. Is there anything exciting that you want to share, like coming up, something special, event? I don't know.
Well, I do tell you this here. We don't have any event, so to say, but we are offering a free driveway cleaning with those who purchase the deal of a house wash or a roof wash. So you will get your driveway clean, no matter how big the driveway is. Somebody called me the other day. They had one of these big circular driveways. huge circular driveway.
Is it the same guy with that you missed the roof or different one?
No, it's totally
one?
different.
Okay.
Actually, this driveway was bigger than his.
Oh God, okay. Because the way you talked about his was like it was big.
Yeah, it was. His driveway was probably a quarter mile from the main road to his house. And then it circles around to he got this big shed of a garage, probably about the size of this entire building.
Okay.
And then it's
a
ridiculous. Yeah. But the thing is having the right equipment.
Yeah.
See, I got the big 36-inch surface cleaners, which is probably about 1.5 of these.
Okay, that's big.
So what usually may take, because most guys, they operate anywhere between 16 to 20-inch surface cleaners. I'm operating 36-inch surface cleaners. So it takes me a shorter time. I just go down, come up. Aside on the average surface cleaner, it takes you 4 stripes. Okay. I mean, four ways. Go up, go down, go up, go down. It just takes me 1.5. So I go down over half if it's clean, and then I come back and I finish the little piece that's not, and then I'm done. Yeah. So that's what all about having the right equipment has.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right, guys, I appreciate it, and I hope you check back next week for a really great episode.